Hello and welcome to the first of many Velosio Viewpoint Lives. My name is Michael DeGeeter, coming to you from the beautiful Windy City, home of deep dish pizza, Chicago, Illinois. I'm here as your host to bring you the hottest topics in cloud, digital transformation, IT, security, ERP, CRM, and so much more. But before I forget, don't forget to like and subscribe wherever that button is somewhere to get updates, notifications to all things Velocio, but also to get notified when we go live during our weekly live chats here on LinkedIn. We also encourage your engagement with us. Type a question to the comment section, and we will try to get to it during our live Q&A today. Today's topic is all about digital transformation, and specifically the age-old question of where do I start? Possibly the most daunting part of the digital transformation journey is how to begin. So we have brought on Raihan Gill from Velosio, our Director of Digital Transformation, to discuss just this and how Velosio can help. Hey, Raihan, thanks for joining us today. How are you?
Doing well. Thank you very much, Mike. I appreciate the intro.
Absolutely. Excellent. Well, Raihan, I think we're just going to dive right into the Q&A here. So first question I have for you, why should every organization focus their attention toward digital transformation?
Yeah, I think, it's incredibly important, especially, being in such an active and hyper modern age society. I think human beings are really hyper focused on trends and buzz terms, right? So starting there, I wanted to, give a little bit of insight into what digital transformation really is. I think a lot of people inaccurately classify digital transformation as a buzz term or some type of a passing trend over the past, 5 years or so. However, I think it's very much here to stay, and it's just another, word for just continuously trying to innovate. We've always been digitally transforming businesses as well as our, environment, in a society, right? It's just never been categorized in that uniform term before until the announcement, of our advisory services and the Digital Next roadmap, which I'm sure we'll get into. Um, so, like I said, there's always been some form of an appetite and thirst to innovate and optimize both businesses and society as a whole. And now more than ever, with technology, rapidly developing and deploying, digital transformation should be at the forefront of everybody's mind in an organization, not just at a board level or an investor level or the C level, right? Everybody should always try to think of how tools can help benefit their organization and their day-to-day life and aid businesses, its employees, and their customers in becoming more efficient, productive, focused, and prepared for other changes that are happening within the organization.
So,
I think companies are moving, and innovating at such a rapid clip nowadays, and they're always leveraging new technologies to scale. So, in order to become, focused and top players in the market and to differentiate between competitors, companies are looking now to new age technologies, such as developing their own IPs and focusing more attention on machine learning and AI, for example, especially for advanced predictive analytics and big data. That always comes up. And I think, a big piece of this also being coming out of the global pandemic, I think during that, phase, that was a major catalyst that started to have people focus a little bit more on how are we going to improve our security? How are we going to connect people, through cloud collaboration tools and unify, data sources to better support the remote working environment.
mm,
And so organizations that enacted these changes helped improve customer engagement seamlessly and form and connect everybody from everywhere. So what I'd like to leave you with in this last portion of the answer is that as your environment changes, so should the way you conduct business. Um, Velosio partners with you to adapt to ever changing environments, and we help you take advantage of change with the help of digital transformation overall.
so you segue into into the Velosio way, right? There's many different ways that organizations are encouraging digital transformation among their clients, especially like you mentioned in this work from home environment, in this new environment that we're dealing with. So, what is the digital transformation Velosio way?
Yeah, we're incredibly excited actually to announce this new service offering of ours, and it's essentially advisory services. And we've definitely gone into the consulting world before, but this is really focusing on like one-to-one partnership between Velosio and our clients. We're an extended group of their organization, so we're excited to announce our new digital transformation practice, and with it, the Digital Next Roadmap engagement, which helps you modernize your application ecosystem. Um, and that doesn't necessarily have to be a daunting task. So with the aid of our trusted and unbiased advisors, Velocity offers some form of a structured approach to digitally transform businesses and re-engineer redundant or inefficient processes. Our digital next roadmap is a coordinated and strategic solution that leads to upgrades in technologies and processes, driving optimizations within the business and and its customer base as well. It's a proactive solution offering with a deeper and more detailed discovery cycle, and we offer expert guidance to envision and achieve a technological and process enhancement plan. We offer an essential foundation to utilize best in class technologies and support services that focus on the business related outcomes, not just technology improvements and day to day operational improvements, though those are incredibly important as well. But we bridge that gap between the day to day process improvements and what the organization's actual end goals are, for the year, the next 3, the next 5, the next 10 years. And this digital next roadmap is the foundation and the start to understanding what are we going to deploy and implement to achieve, or succeed, with all these challenges that have come our way. So if a company engages Velosio in digital transformation, they can expect a proposed solution roadmap that details a clear vision tied to the corporate goals and department initiatives, as well as gets a company to understand what the planned phases of deployments and innovations are over a period of time.
So, what are the key driving factors of digital transformation? So many companies are wondering, okay, this is happening in my company, this is happening in my company. How do I fix it, right? What are those factors? Can you explain a little bit more about
Yeah,
how
I
to
think
solve those?
sure. I think a good way to explain this is splitting them between qualitative and quantitative categories, I guess, or factors, like you said. Um, I think everybody really does need to focus on improving customer experience and customer engagement at the start. So that is one massive, factor that we take into account. Companies are constantly trying to scale extremely quickly. Ever changing environments, a lot of players in the market, a lot of competitors finds themselves a little bit difficult in understanding how to scale. So we provide that different advisory services with the help and use of the Microsoft technology stack to get there. I think, making processes more efficient is also a major factor that contributes to driving digital transformation, which, includes process automation, optimization as well. And like I stated also before, as we moved over into a remote working environment, improving security overall as the company, starts engaging with the outside world is really incredibly important, both internal controls around security as well as externally. Um, and in that remote environment, there's a really insatiable need for new cloud-based ERP CRMs, right? And migrating data over to cloud services, or even a hybrid option of on-premise and cloud. Um, but those are, I think, a lot of the different qualitative factors and benefits of that drive digital transformation. From a quantitative perspective, any metrics that we try to think about is one of them being time to value for the customers, in all activities. Um, customer retention and feedback and gathering that information is important. Um, Process and offerings, in terms of profitability, right? That gets involved in it. Cost effectiveness of gaining new customers, sales productivity. The list kind of goes on. Maybe even reducing costs around IT support. That's something that drives a major change within an organization. How do you best um, optimize your IT team instead of focusing on the day-to-day minutia of answering tickets constantly? What other initiatives can we start to go down as an IT operations team and start innovating a little bit more? That's an important driving factor toward digital transformation as well.
So I mentioned a little bit earlier, you know, the biggest issue that I think companies have right now is, where do I start? It's such a daunting task, it seems like, for a lot of organizations and businesses that are trying to get to the cloud, trying to implement these things. And it's, what goes first? What goes last? How do I organize this? What does change management and training look like? Everything that comes with. So, from your experience, where should someone start in their journey toward digital transformation?
Yeah, I think that having a strong, corporate level executive team that clearly understands and identifies their business goals and outcomes and communicates them effectively to the rest of the organization is the best place to start as a framework. So at least you have that vision already created. And if you don't, we obviously come in and help and facilitate that, discussion and really make it kind of transparent within an organization that everyone gets aligned on. Um, so that's where I think somebody starts their journey, is to really understand the business goals and objectives, right, and outcomes. um, Thereafter, we also help initiate and coordinate an all-encompassing discovery sessions cross-functionally, um, involving multiple functions in an organization. Even though challenges may only relate to one or two specific functions, at least it gives everybody an understanding of where things are heading and what things need to be changed. And we call those, as well as alongside Microsoft, those are envisioning workshops. So we eliminate silos and document those daily operations to perform a fit gap analysis going forward on what possible solution options there are. That's the next step. And I think the third step is aligning the corporate objectives and to the individual expectations, alongside the solutions and tools to achieve those business goals. So you're really bridging the gap between all of those pieces in an organization. And as long as those are clearly documented and there's a clear vision, then digital transformation becomes a success, because all you're doing after that is plugging and playing, different technological solutions or process optimization opportunities, and trying to enact them in some form of a master project plan and getting started with your journey.
As the
Oh, I think so.
Oh, you
I'm
got me
sorry.
now.
I got you now. Yeah.
As the continuous endeavor of digital transformation is happening within companies, what does success look like?
Um, I think success is different for every single type of organization, right? But I think for large scale and strategic digital transformation engagements, they're presented through at least a few factors here. One of which, I think, not just necessarily even large scale and strategic engagements, but every digital transformation engagement is strategic. But I think the major portion of success is it's going to start with the adoption and corporate culture change, right? So I think what we need to help provide is consistent and effective change management, and that's major and key to successful digital transformation. End user training, adoption and understanding of what's going on within an organization, how to utilize the tools that aid in the process optimization, that customer engagement, or essentially from what I'm saying is customer engagement, but employee engagement with those tools. I think that's the massive portion of success, is if you can quantify that, and if you can understand that the companies are adopting these massive changes, that's a massive success. it's not just implementing a solution. It's not just implementing technology. People have to start utilizing it to their benefit, right? Um, Other success factors are, enhancements to tools and processes with minimal breakages. I think a continuous focus toward innovating, not just stopping once the digital next roadmap ends. Right, you're continuously pushing towards innovating going forward, and constantly improving. I think anything that we can provide in terms of impactful and insightful data analysis and intelligence that's ingested within an organization is really useful, right? um, Success also, on a more corporate level, uh, reduction in operating costs, that's always a big factor here. Higher levels and improvements in security, the improved customer experience, and improved competitive advantage, a more efficient and enabled workforce, right? Improved productivity, flexibility, operational agility, essentially the tools that aid in achieving the business goals. So success can even look like, these are all long-term, visions of success, but just immediate quick wins, achieved with the help of advanced technologies and efficient and ongoing support. That's another aspect of success, I think, that help greatly benefits an organization through a digital transformation engagement.
Sure.
Sure.
So
So
a lot of questions that we get or comments that we get from clients is, "Oh, I'm too small for a digital transformation engagement." Right? Is digital transformation for any organization of any size?
it should be, and it is, and everybody should constantly focus on improving their technological environment and their processes internally to help benefit their employees and to help benefit their customers, and to have that drive to continuously grow and scale. Otherwise, you will be left in the dust, unfortunately, right? So I think all organizations should look to utilizing new tools to drive success, right? Um, Whether it be technologies or process updates to better run their business and improve their customer experiences. Um, we at Velosio will provide you with a scalable offering where you phase in and you have planned solutions that are integrated into a more holistic and comprehensive roadmap. So if you don't necessarily have the bandwidth or the budget to engage in a full comprehensive 5-year roadmap, if you're trying to modernize your systems from start to finish, if you're coming from legacy platforms and solutions, then that's fine. We start small and we look at those immediate quick wins and then move on from there and scale along with you as you scale. So the digital next roadmap, I think, is incredibly malleable due to any changing environment with an organization, and it does not necessarily need to be for the largest, more strategic, customers of ours. It can be a small business that's just looking to implement, some form of a new CRM tool, and that's all they want to focus on at that point. But down the line, you're just planning ahead for future changes to occur as that business scales, right? So the Velosio's Digital Next roadmap, and I'll leave you with this, I think it's more of a guide that maps technologies and process improvements to broader corporate goals, as well as, immediate employee requirements to help better their day-to-day life, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Raihan, that is all the questions I have for you today. Thanks for being here with us as a guest on our first Velosio Viewpoint Live. I appreciate your insight into digital transformation and what Velosio can offer within our Digital Next Roadmap offering.
Thank you.
Uh,
I'm very honored to be the inaugural guest on this, and
yeah,
looking forward to being back here soon and talking about a lot of other exciting opportunities with the Digital Next roadmap and our digital transformation advisory services. So
awesome. Well, if anyone wants to reach out to Raihan, I'm sure he's welcome to reach out to him directly through LinkedIn, on those platforms and direct message, as well as reach out to insider@velosio.com. Make sure to mention Viewpoint Live, and we'd be happy to help. Thanks, Raihan, for being here again today. We'll be back next Wednesday to talk a little bit about Microsoft's Bridge to the Cloud promotion. So make sure to check that out. We are here Wednesdays, 1 p.m. Central Time, 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm Mike DeGeeter, and I'll see everybody next week. Bye bye.